All right, this is your brother Issachar coming at you with another lesson. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaa Quadash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone, which I learned is true from. Honors to the elders and brothers out there pushing this word through the four corners of the earth within truth and sincerity. And shalom to the aquas that's listening and learning. Today's video is going to be entitled, Control Your Sexual Desires. Now, I got inspired to do this lesson because of this post right here and another picture that I'm going to read. And then I was just meditating on the subject for a while now, because one of the things about this truth is for men, they realize and learn that they can have multiple women, and coming into that understanding that can get you to the point where you may do things that you may regret. All right. And then, as we all know, a lot of us, when we were in the world, we watched porn and everything like that. Some of us committed adultery and everything like that. We was in that worldly mind. But now that we come into this understanding, we know that we have to do better and we have to stay away from sin. OK, and the thing is, Jake, once he learns that he can have multiple women, he'll take advantage of that so he can get as many women as he possibly wants. And then he'll get to the point where he may be a little bit too much into this thing, because he'll start to try to control every single woman that he has. And as we all know, that's really not a thing that you should be focusing on right now, because we're dealing with the women of Babylon. All right. And then when it comes to the women, a lot of women that were in the world and everything like that, they may have had their little one night stands or had their fun and everything like that. But then when you come into this truth, you realize that you only supposed to be with one man. OK, so it's very important for you all to be very careful on who you choose to be with, because once you come into this truth, and then, if you don't find a man that's in the truth, you don't find a man that's in the faith, and you end up just being with any other man, and you think he seems like a pretty good dude. Hey, once he goes into you, you have to stick with him, man, no matter what. OK, you have to stick with him unless things just, gets really out of hand or whatever and everything like that, because you're not supposed to be going from man to man. All right. And then when I came across this post right here, this is very enlightening, because as we all know, Babylon the Great teaches you to watch porn. Actually, it teaches you to be subject to that pleasure demon. All right. They put, sex in everything. All right. I mean, you hear it in the Family Guy intro. What they say, all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. All right. They got when we was growing up. Well, when I was growing up, it was very difficult to access porn. We used to do the thing where you'll turn to like channel 3 and it'll be blurry and shit. And then you'd be like, oh, this is the channel where it'll pop up every now and then, and you'll try to get a glimpse of it and everything like that. But now Esau has gotten it to the point where it's not difficult at all. Everybody has a phone, and you can easily just go to whatever website and look at all kind of videos like it's YouTube. OK, and this holds a lot of people back, especially the so-called nerds in the world and everything like that. Men who doesn't have confidence in themselves and everything like that. They're afraid to talk to women. So then they do what? They go and watch porn, and it pretty much dumbs down your mind, and it pretty much gets you to the point where you're not going to be able to talk to women. And then when it actually is time for you to actually have real sex, you're not going to enjoy it, because you're going to be fantasizing and thinking about those videos. OK, and one of the things that we got to make sure we have control over is those type of demons, man. Don't be out here just trying to get all kind of women just because you realize that you are in the truth, and the scriptures say we can have multiple women. Can't be doing that, man, because if you do that, that's going to distract you from doing the work. That's the most important thing right now, is to do this work, man. Keep pushing this word as much as you possibly can and meditating within Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, so you can make it to the end, man. The women are going to be added unto you in the kingdom, and you're not going to be thinking about, trying to hurry up and get more women. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, he's going to bless you with that, man. OK, the real rest, along with the pleasures, is going to be added unto you in the kingdom, man. That's going to be part of your reward. All right. And women are, you all are going to have your husbands. You're not going to be out of order, and you're going to have your your fantasies come true too. Because it's like Elder Malcolm always say. He was like, hey man, you women out there, you gonna want to tag in with your sister wives, because you got to remember, we're gonna be in those new bodies and we're gonna be God, like literally. Okay, so we're not gonna become weary. So you can just imagine everything yourself, man. Okay, everything is gonna be heavenly. All right. But at the end of the day, right now, what a lot of people need to do is just watch out for what they do as far as their pleasures goes. All right. So now when we read this, you can see it says watching porn. You see the mind. Then it says masturbating or fantasizing. Then it says real sex only. Then it says semen retention, creative outlets, and sex. And as you can see, when you do these things, like I said, you pretty much dumbing yourself down. And I believe the word is desensitized. You're becoming numb to the actual reality of being with a woman. And as you can see, when you masturbate or fantasize, this happens. Then you see the real sex only thing. Your mind is a little bit more enlightened. And then when you see the last one, you pretty much are open, because what you are doing is you're getting yourself away from that demon. You're getting yourself away from just fantasizing and doing these things or whatever. You leaving videos alone. You're actually trying to be a part of the world. Not part of the world as far as doing things in the world, but you're living. Okay. And then I got this one right here. It says men that aren't slaves to their sexual urges are focused men. Focused men are powerful men. And as we all know, Most High is grooming us to be rulers, to be kings, to be priests. He's given us that ruler class mentality back. And if you get to the point where you're always, falling for that porn, you always falling for the first woman you see, because a lot of Jaders be like, well, shit, she giving it up. It really don't matter. Even though she can have bad habits, she could be a distraction to you, or whatever the case may be. They just go ahead and do things anyway. They'll be like, well, I'm gonna get her pregnant on purpose just so I can make sure for life I'll be able to, have sex with her and all these other things. You're not focused. Okay. What's that? What they say? Not grade A, alpha. There you go. The Most High is getting us in that alpha male status, man. He's training us to the point where we won't be simps out here. Okay. He wants us to be focused, because that's the only way you can be a ruler. That's the only way you can be a king. You have to be focused. You have to look at what's going on in the world and make the correct decisions. You got to make the correct judgments, man. And if you always have a clouded mind, that's going to be very difficult for you. You cannot be distracted for simple things. All right. And it goes the same way with the women, man. A lot of women, before you came in the truth, I don't know a lot of you all's backstories or anything like that. And, we don't need to know. But a lot of you know what you did before you came into the truth and everything like that, how your lifestyle was and everything. But when you came into this, you realize you're like, oh, shit, I might have to share a man. Or, once I get with this man, I have to be careful and make sure that I stick with him, because you can't be going from man to man. You got to stick with that one. OK, so at the end of the day, you have to be very careful on what you do, man. Like I said, we all know, hey, we all want that pleasure. We all do. We all want to experience that a lot. But at the end of the day, this is part of the struggle when you come into this truth. This is part of the enduring hardness as a good soldier. This is one of the things that you have to fight. OK, because like I said, if you get to the point where you look at porn and you do these different things, you may get to the point where you commit adultery, so forth and so on. All right. So let's get the scriptures, because I don't want to keep talking. Let's get the scriptures, and then we'll balance everything out with those. So let's start off with Sirach 25 and 21. So this is Sirach chapter 25, verse 21. And it says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for her pleasure. This scripture alone is very plain and easy to understand. It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for her pleasure. Now, one of the thing is, when you run into a woman in this world and she's super fine and everything like that, the first thing she's going to do is belittle you. She's going to look down on you because of her looks, because a lot of women in this world put themselves on this pedestal where they feel like, look, if I got the pretty face, I got the long hair, I got the tiny waist, I got the big ass, the big breasts, or whatever the case may be, and I'm in an actually good position where I make a decent amount of money, they're going to look at themselves as the prize. All right. You got to remember, the man is the prize, man. The Most High, Yahweh said he was going to make a man finer than gold in the kingdom, man, because right now a woman has surpassed a man. So when you run into a woman and she looks fine and you really want to get with her, you got to remember, don't desire her only for her pleasure. You got to remember, what can she bring to the table? That's the first thing you should be asking. What can she bring to the table for my household? All right. This is more than just pleasure. You got to be like, look, is she actually going to be a help? Like the scriptures tell women to be? Okay. If her desire is not going to be towards you, if she's going to look down on you because of her so-called looks, you don't need to be messing with that woman, man. You need to be keeping it moving. At the end of the day, like I said, man, a lot of men over here drool over women that look super fine, and they'll do the most to get it. You know, everybody's been through a certain story where they did a crazy ass thing for a woman, man. Every one of us have done it, man. Especially, like I said, we found one that was superbly fine. Everybody has done something stupid. But at the end of the day, you learn from those things and you keep it moving, man. Like I said, you don't just be like, oh, she's beautiful, I need to go ahead and do all of this. All you got to do is read First Esdras, the 4th chapter, and you'll see all of the different things that men have done for women. Men have perished for women, stole for women, fought for women, went to jail for women, just because of the simple fact of their beauty, man. They wasn't thinking about what she actually can bring to the table. So that's what you need to do, man. Always remember that, because as soon as you remember that, you'll be what? You'll be more focused. Let's get Matthew 5:27. This is Matthew 5, chapter 5, verse 27. And it says, you have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. If thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right eye offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not thy whole body should be cast into hell. Now, when you read this scripture, this is not talking about actually plucking out your right eye and cutting off your right hand and so forth and so on, man. You got certain individuals way back in the day that took this literally, and they over here putting themselves through torture because they felt like they needed to do this in order to make it to heaven. Those some bug outs, man. When you read this, it's pretty much twofold, because it's talking. It could be, you could use this for yourself, and you could use this when you're part of the brotherhood, man. If you see a brother out there and he's doing something and he's weakening the brotherhood, he's slowing the brotherhood down because he's not doing what he's supposed to do, he's not growing within this thing, you got to get rid of him, man. Because at the end of the day, we're building up the house of David, and we're trying to be a well-oiled spiritual machine. So if you see a brother that's just literally not trying, he's not trying to upgrade, you got to get rid of him. All right, then you can use this for yourself. Because if you know that you're doing something that you ain't supposed to do, you're supposed to get rid of that. You're supposed to try your hardest to get rid of that demon that's upon you. Just like Yahweh said, he said, you can't say anything unless you cast that member out of your household yourself. You can't teach, don't steal if you still stealing. Okay. You gotta get rid of those things. You gotta get rid of those problems. All right. So then you can be able to upgrade and move forward. And as Yahweh said right here, it says that whosoever looketh on the woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. A good example of that was King David. He looked on a woman, and Apostle Tahar was just speaking about him. He's like, hey, he looked on a woman, and Apostle Tahar was like, man, she must have been super fine, because, you know, King David did the most to make sure that he got with that woman and he committed adultery. That woman belonged to somebody already. And then the Most High, you know, he gave him his decisions. It's like, well, look, you did commit adultery, so something got to happen to you, you know, and he had to pick what judgment he had to go through and everything like that, you know. So at the end of the day, just like I brought out the scripture earlier, do not desire a woman just because of her beauty, because you already committed adultery in your heart. Because as soon as that woman would have, let's just say, you know, that woman actually gave you the time of day and you didn't know that she was with a man, hey, you would have been like, well, shit, let's go. And then in the middle of it or whatever, she tell you that, you know, she actually do have a man, you would have been like, well, whatever, man. It's you here now, man. You fine as hell. Let's go. You would have been messing up, and you're not trying to go down that route, man. You trying to be righteous, man. You're trying to rehearse the righteous acts. You trying to make it to salvation. So you got to make sure you don't lust after a woman because of her beauty, man. Okay. This is another good example. Let's go to Susanna. Let's go to Susanna. It's only one chapter. Let's go to verse 13. And I'm going to read on down. And it says, and the one said to the other, let us now go home, for it is dinner time. So when they were gone out, they parted, Salakia, the one from the other, and turning back again, they came to the same place. And after that, they had asked one another the cause. They acknowledged their lust. Then appointed they a time both together when they might find her alone. It's talking about the two elders who were lusting after Susanna. All right. They were being freaks. They were being stalkers, you know, being weird, you know, watching her every single time that they were able to get a chance to. All right. And it says, and it fell out, verse 15, and it says, and it fell out as they watched the fifth time. She went in as before with two maids only, and she was desirous to wash herself in the garden, for it was hot. And there was nobody there save the two elders that had hid themselves and watched her. Then she said to her maids, bring me oil and washing balls, and shut the garden doors, that I may wash me. And they did as she bade them, and shut the garden doors, and went out themselves at privy doors to fetch the things that she had commanded them. But they saw not the elders, because they were hid. Now when the maids were gone forth, the two elders rose up and ran unto her, saying, behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore consent unto us, and lie with us. If thou wilt not, we will bear witness against thee that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee. Then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side, for if I do this thing, it is death unto me. And if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands. It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Lord. So like I said, this is another story for the men and the women. For you men out there, you know, like I said, you look at a woman or whatever. Well, I just say earlier, a lot of us have done some foolish and stupid things just to get with women. These same two elders was getting ready to do the same thing. They like, look, you about to get it in with us, or we gonna bear false witness against you. Okay. But what Susanna say? She kept the faith with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because he said it is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Lord. What's the first scripture that pops in your mind after you read that? It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. She like, look, I'm not about to, you know, do something I'm not supposed to do. Why? Because she already knew she was with somebody. Okay. And that's another thing, because a lot of women love to cheat, man. They love to cheat. That's actually a hashtag right now. When you go on the internet or whatever it is, whatever these social media sites, they actually have a hashtag cheating wife. It's women out here that gets off on that, man. All right. But Susanna was different. She like, look, I'm with somebody and that's going to be my husband until I die. Okay. She said, look, I'm going to stay and I'm going to keep the faith with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And then when you read the rest of the story, eventually the two elders got put to death, man. They got put to death and she got out of the situation. Okay. And it is what it is. So you got to have that mindset, that type of mind state. You know, you get in certain situations, you be like, look, if I do these certain things, I'm not going to grow within the spirit. And, you know, I'm make Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai angry. You don't want that. You want to keep it moving. Let's get 1 Corinthians 7 and 2. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 2. And it says, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. So at the end of the day, just find, like I said, women, be careful. Don't do anything that you will regret. Be very careful who you get with. Like I said, we all be like, look, if you could get with a man of the Lord, go ahead and do that. But at the end of the day, you might not be able to. So, and we understand, it's just a very shaky situation. But like I said, if you get with somebody, man, you got to make sure that this is the person that you are going to stick with and you believe it. If not, hey, just leave it alone. Don't even try to get in with anybody. You know what? Let's get that real quick. We're going to stay in the same book, actually. We're going to get 1 Corinthians 7 and 29. Because at the end of the day, you got to be very careful who you get with, man, because you're not trying to be a whore. You understand that you're working on yourself to be pure as well, because there's going to be women that's going to be saved as well, and they're going to be in the new bodies. They're going to have the law written in their inward parts and everything like that, and they're not going to be able to go off as well. Speaking to you Negro, Latino, and Native American women, all right? But like I said, you're trying to fight those demons. So we're gonna read this right here. It says, it's 1 Corinthians 7 to 29. It say, but this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they have wives. It says that both they that have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not. And they that use this world is not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. So at the end of the day, you might as well get to the point where you just be like, look, I'm not even really trying to be with anybody, when you come into this truth, because it may be a burden to you. It may be something that holds you back. Okay. That's why, we in this truth, we make it seem as we don't have wives. A lot of us may have women, but the majority of our time goes to what? It goes to this truth. And, it could be the same thing with you women. You come into this thing, you just here to listen and learn. You're not here to teach. You just here to listen and learn and everything like that. And, hey, you ain't in this, you in this truth. You living a life like these other women are. You're not trying to go out to the bars, to the club, or hang out and everything like that all the time. The scriptures tell women to be keepers at home, so they can be able to raise their younger daughters and the other younger women as a part of their lives up the right way. So you're being sat down. You're not doing everything that the women of the world is doing. Okay. So that's why it's very important. Like I said, you make the correct decisions when you come into certain situations, man. All right. And like I said, when it comes to you men, hey, you got to be the same way, man. You got to be as though you had none, man. The majority of your time is supposed to be to going out there and fishing out the elect, man. Okay. Now let's get this one last scripture. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 6, verse 12, because you got to remember in that picture we saw earlier, what it say? It was like, if you can control your sexual urges, you'll become more of a focused man. All right. So remember that it says Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 12. It says, wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Yeah, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such as seek her. She revengeth them that desire her, and making herself first known unto them. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his doors. To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom. See that? Perfection of wisdom. When you become focused, you're trying to perfect yourself. That's how a lot of, people with talent and everything like that craft their skills. They master their skills because they're focused on what they're trying to do. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, so forth and so on. They'll be in the gym for hours and hours and hours and hours, hardly getting any sleep because they're focused on their goal at hand, which is to be the best. We're supposed to be the same way. So if you're focused on this truth, you won't be distracted by women and everything like that, man. You'll be able to keep it moving. You'll be able to grow within the spirit. Okay? To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom. And that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to learn as much as we possibly can and become better teachers every day. And whoso watches for her shall quickly be without care. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, showeth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. See? The desire of discipline. That's one of the ways that you'll be more focused, because you'll start to hold yourself back from doing things that you know is going to stop you from prospering. Okay? For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. Salakia, the desire of discipline. This means you want this. You love wisdom. You know, you wake up in the morning, you be like, yeah, this is what I'm trying to be on. I'm trying to be on this wisdom, man. I'm trying to be and get more understanding. I'm trying to become a better man, you know, so I can go out here and do what I'm supposed to do. You'll receive more discipline. Why? Because you'll be more settled into this truth, and you'll be more focused on doing the work at hand other than feeding your worldly desires. And it says the care of discipline is love, and love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. And incorruption maketh us nearer to the Most High. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. And that's exactly what I said earlier. The Most High is grooming us so we can become kings. We become priests. We can have that ruler class mentality. You women are going to be princesses. We're going to be royal people again, man. Okay? So when you come into this truth, you understand that you have to change your ways. And like I said, one of the strongest things out there is the sexual demon. Okay? Because, hey, man, it's just natural, you know. You know, if women see a man or whatever, or if men sees a beautiful woman, you know, it's just natural for them to be like, hey, man, let's come together. Let's do something, you know. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, this is not the goal at hand, man. We're, you know, having fun and doing all these other things and having your desires, you know, fulfilled every single day is not really what you should be focused on, you know. Like I said, our focus is on what? Getting into the kingdom. Okay, so once you receive this wisdom and this understanding, you understand that you got to stop doing certain things, and then, like I said, it'll grow. You'll grow. Like I said, discipline leads to love. Love leads to keeping the laws. Laws leads to incorruption. Incorruption leads to the Most High, and the Most High will put you in the kingdom. You know, that's how it is, man. Okay, so we got to seek Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay. Because at the end of the day, he's going to give us everything that we lost. All right. If you don't have a husband right now, hey, if you keep the faith to the end, the Most High is going to provide you with the best husband that you ever had, man. You know, and he's going to take care of you. All right. You men out there, if you didn't have any women on this side, the Most High is going to bless you with your wives. All right. He's going to give them to you, man. And they're going to be the best women you ever had. All right. And it is what it is. You ain't got to worry about having a woman or a man within wickedness. Everybody's going to work as a team, and Israel's going to love each other. But right now, man, our goal at hand is to make it into the kingdom. So we got to keep the faith, and we got to keep doing this work, man. All right. So I just want to bring this out. I ain't want to make this too long. You know, this is a little something that's been on my mind. And then when I saw that post that the brother posted, I was like, I could use this for the lesson. So I hope this is edifying. So with that, I'm going to say, call Halayim, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaa, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone, which I learned this truth from. Honors to the elders and brothers out there pushing this word through the four corners of the earth within truth and sincerity. And shalom to the aquasness, listening and learning. And Yahweh Ratazah, I'll be back on another lesson. Keep pushing, Yasharala. Keep pushing. We almost out of here. Shalom.